Okay, welcome everyone. My name is MightyStream, and you are watching this video because you are interested in starting your step work. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a PDF file that I've copied over to a Pages document creator. So go ahead and get your green flat book that is the NA Step Working Guide, okay? Go ahead and get that open, and then I'm going to share this screen and show you, if I'm your sponsor, I want to show you how I want you to itemize each question as you answer them, okay? And then if I'm not your sponsor, I think this is a good way to do it, regardless to how your sponsor wants you to cover it, because it will allow you to tell your sponsor exactly what question you're answering in case you guys are not in person. Because I do know from my own experience that when you are, let me find it. I'm working on uploading a video, but let me find it. I know that when you're sitting with your sponsor and you're answering questions from your journal, it can become complicated to make sure that you two are answering the same questions. Usually what I will do is I will ask the question and then have the sponsee find the answer to that particular question and share with me. Okay, so the beginning of your step working guide should look something like this. It has a whole dialogue before you get to this point, right? It has the intro. So before you get to step one, there's a few pages that I have not copied here. So now here we are at step one. You're going to read as much information on step one as possible, but definitely read through this, right? Until you get to this section called the disease of addiction. Now, I've already done this for someone else, so it's going to look like this. And in your journal, you're going to label it A, right? You're going to label that A, the disease of addiction. And then when you get ready to write your answers, all right, this one would look like your first bullet point, right? This one should be your first bullet point. It's going to have, I'm trying to think what kind of bullets it uses. I think it looks something like, let me look here. It looks like a little arrow. If it doesn't look like an arrow, it looks like a regular bullet, right? So all of these are bullet points where I have numbers, they're actual bullet points. So let's just use 2 as an example, and then I think you'll be well on your way. Okay, so in the first bullet under A, the disease of addiction, you're going to write on your journal, A, the disease of addiction. And you notice underneath this particular section, there are several sections of questions. This is a bullet, right? This is a bullet right here. This is a bullet. This is a bullet. So there's at least under this first section, there's 4 bullets, and then there's even more. So that's 4, this is 5, this is 6. Okay, so there's several sections, and within each section, you will find that there are several questions. And it gets complicated when you're trying to figure out which questions you're answering from within each section, right? So this should have a parenthesis. All right, did it right this time. So what I want you to do is when you get to A, the disease of addiction up here, now you're going to start answering your bullets, but your bullets aren't going to be, I don't want you to number them as bullets. I want you to, on your paperwork, on your journal, number it as number 1. The first bullet receives a number 1, and the question, the first question under 1 is going to get the letter A. And then you're going to answer that, okay? And then that's the question. And then that's my answer, right? The disease of, this is my answer. This does not apply to you. Like I said, I've already done this, so I was just trying to help someone else out. But this is what I want you to do. And then this is B. Has my disease been active recently? This is B. You're gonna give that the letter B. So this is 1A and 1B. And it's just a closed-ended question. Has it been active like recently? Yes or no? And then you're gonna say yes. And then when you get to the next question, which says in what way, you're going to label that on your paperwork as C. In what way? And then I provided an answer, right? I talked about eating late at night, right? So I provided an answer. And that's how you do it. Then when you get to your next bullet on your paperwork, in your actual journal that you're writing, it becomes number 2. And this becomes question A. So this is 2A. And it says, what is it like when I'm obsessed with something? And you write your answer. Then when you get to the next question within that section, you're going to call that B. And that is, does my thinking follow a pattern? Describe. So I put the answer after the word describe, but you're answering to B. Yes, my thinking is completely obsessive, blah, 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 right? Then when you get to the third bullet, you're going to label that as 3A for the first question in that section, and then 3B for the second question in that section. And you're just going to go through it like that. You're going to label each question, instead of it being a bullet, you're going to give it a number so that as you write on it, you know what you're doing, right? I'm trying to figure out why the font is so small, but it doesn't matter. You're going to go ahead and call this 4A, B. However many question marks are within that question will tell you how many letters you have. So for 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to have 4A, 4B, C, D, and E. You will have 5 letters after the 4. And you will put them on your journal so that you know that you're answering 4C mentally. And you go ahead and answer it. You don't have to rewrite your question. I think it's very time consuming to rewrite the question, even though we were trained in school to do that, right? Rephrase the question in your answer, or write your question and then write the answer to it. It's very time consuming because you're going to be doing a lot of writing. Now you see this little break in here after 4, that 4th bullet. All right, it leads you into another line of questioning, but it's all, I need to cough. Give me just a second here. Excuse me, so tacky. This line of questioning, or this paragraph, leads you into another line of questioning, but it doesn't have another heading. So you're still going to leave it under A, the disease of addiction. And then when you come here to the first question under that, that becomes 5. And then this becomes 6. And 6 has 3 questions in it, right? So this is 6A. And then this is 6B. So you make a B on your paper, write that. And then this is C. And you can do this in your book too. You can actually go through your whole book with a pencil. I would recommend a pencil. I would recommend that you use a pencil, go through your whole book and, or your whole step, right? And letter them and number them, because it's also frustrating to be trying to figure this out as you're writing your answers. So now if you go ahead and number them, the bullets, number them, and then break them down A, B, C, depending on how many questions are within each section. Now, when you get to section B, this is B, called denial. You already know it. You'll be like B, denial, and then you'll go into renumbering them. You see how I did that? Each section, whether it's A or whether it's B, Every time you get to a new subheading, it gets a new letter. And the questions under that subheading you start your numbering over. So this becomes 1A, 1B, right? Because that first question has 2 questions within it. And then this would be 2, right? 2. So it becomes B2. If I had to ask you a question on the phone, I would say, okay, so-and-so, give me the answer for section B, question 2, and the A part, because I didn't get that right. I want you to tell me again, what was your answer to that? And I might read it, how I can possibly acted on it, how have I acted on an obsession, and then acted as if I had actually planned to act that way. That's a good, I love this section here. Have I compulsively acted on an obsession and then acted as if I had actually planned to act that way? Okay, I'm tongue-tied because I've been taping for a long time this morning, but I wanted to make sure I get this to you so that you know each subheading, I labeled as C already, right? Each subheading actually gets its own letter, and then you will restart the numbering from the beginning. 1, 2, you see that? And then that's how you do it. And you do it till you're finished. And this one would be D. And then there's 1 or 2 more, I think. This one would be E, right? There's a lot under here. There are a lot of questions under here, right? So you want to make sure that you go ahead and get all your bullet points with numbers. Your subheading has letters. And then with each question, each bullet, you should separate them by A, B, C, and D, depending on the question. I hope that helps. If it's confusing, all you really have to do is replay this tape or give me a call or text me, and I will explain it. I want to go back to this one section under the B, denial. Have I given plausible but untrue reasons for my behavior? And what have they been? So that's a closed-ended question. So the answer will be yes or no. And then what have they been? That's where you will explain in the B part of 1. You will explain that answer. Plausible, check this out. I don't know, look up plausible, if it'll show it to you or not. Plausible means, let's see, seeming reasonable or probable, credible. These are other words that it could mean. Believable, likable, feasible. That's what the definition is. It seems plausible that 1 of 2 things may happen. So it sounds reasonable, but then here's the catch, right? But untrue reasons for my behavior. It sounds believable, but it's kind of like, you know, trying to throw someone off your game a little bit. You give half of a truth or something that sounds like it could really be, yeah, her mother is always calling her for stuff. So yeah, it's plausible that she didn't come home because her mother called and said she needed someone to sit with her because she was scared to be alone. Or it's plausible, you know, that I would tell, you know, someone that I usually borrow money from that, you know, the bill came up and I just am not able to pay it. Can you give me, like, I just need $50. It sounds plausible, but it's not true because you already paid the bill, right? So that's how we tend to lie sometimes, but I hope that helps you. And like I said, if you need any more assistance, just reach out to me and I would be more than happy to meet with you on Zoom and go through it. Like I said, my workbook has been stolen from me, like blatantly just stolen, taken out of my office. So I need to get another one, but I will definitely use this PDF to go over your step work with you. And then I'm excited for you. If you're serious about doing your step work, I'm serious about helping you to do it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.